My name's Colin. I live in Bath in the southwest of England. This is my channel, the Yay, Nay or Meh channel. And tonight I am going to be talking about the new, very small, very independent, British-French film, Paul and Paulette Take a Bath, which I was lucky enough to see at my local cinema here in Bath, the Little Theatre, with a director's Q&A. And I always like to go to a director's Q&A and make the effort to see filmmakers in person. But this was a rather unique experience because it turns out that the director Jethro Massey, despite being half French and being now based in Paris, actually grew up here in Bath, and a significant percentage, or seemingly a significant percentage of the people who were in this Q&A screening were personally known by Jethro Massey, including his childhood best friend who was sitting across the aisle from me and throughout the second half of the film was checking his phone, which is wrong on several levels in my opinion. But a lot of people in the screening did know Jethro Massey. I didn't, but I was curious about this film. I mean, like I said, I want to go to a Q&A, but I would have been seeing this film anyway, and it is being played all week at the Little Theatre here in Bath, and it's getting a very limited cinematic release here in the UK. It's being distributed by Conic Distribution, who are a tiny, tiny distribution company. So by the time this video comes up, maybe you'll be able to see it at the cinema, but no doubt it will be coming online soon enough. But I was going to see it anyway because I heard the basic premise of this film. An American boy and a French girl meet on the streets of Paris and share morbid fascination with the darker side of Parisian history. And when I saw the trailer, I thought, yeah, this looks like a good film, an interesting film.
Once upon a time, there was a girl. She loved Elvis Presley, but she went out with a Marilyn Monroe impersonator.
Do I look like her?
She would climb into history and immerse herself in the horrors of humanity.
Hello?
She liked bad things.
Pulled! Once, there was a boy
I'm Paul.
who came to Paris with a camera around his neck.
Marie Antoinette. Ils ont coupé ses cheveux avant l'exécution.
Do it. You can keep it. I want to go to a crime scene.
What are you talking about? There are crime scenes all over Paris.
Would you prefer to shoot someone or be shot?
I prefer to be shot.
I don't talk about my family.
Paul, Paulette. It's a bit like brother sister, no?
Where are we going?
Can't tell you.
Ah, come on!
Deux chambres.
Une chambre. Une chambre.
You know what I think? I think I love you isn't a statement, it's a question. What it really means is, do you love me?
Have you ever wanted to ask someone that question? Don't put me on a pedestal, okay?
What the fuck am I supposed to say to that?
Once there was a boy who was in love with a girl.
Well, don't be shy, get in.
So I would have gone and seen it anyway, but the opportunity to have a Q&A with the director was too good to pass up. It did look like the kind of walk and talk romance film, which is somewhat popular in cinema and is personally one of my favourite types of films. I mean, the classic example is Linklater's Before Sunrise.
Listen, you know all this bullshit we're talking about not seeing each other again? I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that either.
You don't either?
I was waiting for you to say it.
Why didn't you say something?
I was afraid maybe you didn't want to see me.
All right, well, listen, what do you want to do?
Maybe we should meet here in 5 years or something.
All right, 5 years? 5 years, that's a long
Yes,
time.
it's awful. It's like a sociological experiment. How about 1 year?
1 year, all right.
1 year.
How about 6 months?
Now, I must admit, when I first saw Before Sunrise, it irritated the fuck out of me. Teenage COD philosophy, we are destined to be together, annoyed the crap out of me. And I liked it. Well, Before Sunset was an improvement. Still didn't love it, but with Before Midnight, wrapping up all the teenage angst and crap that we had in the first two films, as a trilogy, I think the Before trilogy is an absolute seminal piece of cinematic art. I love the Before trilogy, didn't necessarily love Before Sunrise, but that is the example, the classic example of a walk and talk romance movie. But since we're on the subject, may I just take the time to recommend a different walk and talk romance movie, South Side with You, which is a fictionalised account of the first date of Barack and Michelle Obama on the south side of Chicago, on their first date, and ending up watching Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing. And that is a really sweet, really cute little film.
Let me put it to you another way, Avery.
I'm all ears.
If Mookie hadn't thrown the trash can, maybe the crowd would have turned on Sal and Sons. So instead of the store being destroyed, they might be dead. And Mookie knew the insurance would cover the damage to the store. He was saving Sal's life.
I never would have considered that perspective, Barack. See, that's why we need a guy like you full time. Michelle, make sure to treat him real good. We want him sticking around. We'll see you both Monday.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks.
You know, I only said that to make Avery feel better. Mookie threw that trash can because he was fucking angry.
So yeah, there's my duty as a film critic, if you can call me a critic. But yeah, a recommender of films. So yeah, do check out South Side with You. But yes, that is the kind of film that was presented, or is the easiest pigeonhole to put Paul and Paulette Take a Bath in. But it is darker than that, it is quirkier than that, and it has some interesting things on its mind. Because this is, in some ways, quite a dark tale about this young woman, Paulette, played by Marie Benati, who is obsessed with darkness and the history of tragedy in Paris. She is kneeling down on the place where Marie Antoinette was executed, and this odd thing on the streets of Paris is noticed by an American living in Paris, played by Jérémie Galiana, and they start spending time together, and they go to various morbid places in Paris. They do recreate the execution of Marie Antoinette. They do spend time in the apartment of notorious late 19th century murderess Gabrielle Bompard. And they also spend time at the place where the Paris communards were massacred in 1871. And I know this is facetious, but I can't help myself. You say communards, I say... Yes, I'm silly, but deal with it. So yes, they go to all these dark places throughout history. I mean, one place that they go, which unfortunately I don't have a clip for me because I'm using the official press kit released by Conic. They also go to a human zoo in Paris, where natives from the French Empire were brought to Paris, so the Parisian bourgeoisie could just watch them and gawk at them. Oh, look at the savages. It's a disturbing kind of thing, and I mean, I'm pretty sure the British did a similar kind of thing in the Great Exhibition of the late 19th century. These human zoos were not uncommon, and have we really dealt with that? Not really. And that's one of the points of this film. It is the fact that the dark history of Western Europe is built on these kinds of tragedies, these kinds of uncomfortable truths, which we're not going to deal with. And perhaps one of the biggest is the cornerstone, you might say, of this film. Because eventually, Paul and Paulette go on a road trip from Paris to Salzburg in Austria. And I did wonder, is the fact that they end up in Austria maybe a reference to Before Sunrise, which is set in Vienna? You know, as I said, the classic example of this kind of boy meets girl walk and talk romance film. That struck me. But they go on a road trip to Salzburg, and on that road trip, they take a minor detour to Munich in Germany and end up having a bath together in Hitler's bath.
Come on! The water is getting cold. You know I don't like to wait. Hey. Thank you. Well, don't be shy, get in.
And in the Q&A and in the official press release materials, the press kit, Jethro Massey has said that one of the major inspirations for this film was a famous / notorious photograph of the war photographer Lee Miller doing that, having a bath in Hitler's bath in Munich. This is a very famous image, and it was recreated in the biopic of Lee Miller that Kate Winslet did a couple of years ago, and is pretty decent.
Wait.
Jesus Christ!
Is that in? Just check.
All right, it's in. Come on.
Make sure you can't see my tits. We'll never get it past the censor.
So yeah, that famous incident, that famous image was one of the key inspirations for this film and the morbid history. And yeah, it's interesting that all these pieces of history, all these things that, you know, the dark corners, the dark history, the unexplored dark history of a place like Paris comes to the forefront in this film. Even going so far as the last section of the movie deals with the Bataclan massacre. I mean, that's really, really recent European history. That's only 10 years ago. And yet Jethro Massey did include the Bataclan massacre in this film. And he said in the Q&A specifically, and also in the official press kit, something which I personally found really fascinating. He says, I know that Paulette's game, I mean this idea of going around these dark places in history and seeing them, will seem quite innocent at first as she imagines the execution of Marie Antoinette, and that by the time Paul takes the keys of the apartment of the Bataclan killer, the audience will feel he has gone too far. But I suspect that the moment that the characters cross the line will differ between audience members. I look forward to discovering where different people feel they have gone too far. And this I thought was a fascinating statement when I heard it in the Q&A, and it actually slightly changed the question I was going to ask Jethro Massey. Because my opinion and what I said to him was that for me personally, the Bataclan stuff, while confrontational, didn't really bother me, and I never personally thought that either Paul or Paulette crossed the line. Because in my mind, these were two very, very damaged people, and anything they did was fair game. Anything they did, oh, that's just who they are. That was my opinion, and as Jethro Massey quite rightly said, and judging by the other questions that were in the audience, largely from people who personally knew Jethro Massey, they didn't feel the same. They thought they had crossed the line by the time the Bataclan stuff comes up. I didn't feel that they crossed the line. I thought it was very, very morbid and very confrontational. But I didn't think they, crossed the line, personally speaking. But I'm sure that for a lot of people, they will have crossed the line by the end of this film. Because by the time the Bataclan stuff had come up, I already had something in my mind, a descriptor of this film, particularly a descriptor of Paulette, that kind of summed up the film for me. And it's the title of this video and a phrase I'm personally rather proud of. I think Paulette is a manic, morbid dream girl, which is obviously a twist and an alternative to the manic pixie dream girl, a trope of cinema which we haven't really had recently, but there was a lot of stuff out there about the manic pixie dream girl about 20 years ago. It was a phrase that was first coined by the film critic Nathan Rabin, who was writing a series of articles for the AV Club website called My Year of Flops, which he eventually turned into a book. But what inspired him to write these series of articles, these series of columns, was the Cameron Crowe film Elizabethtown. And in this retrospective review of Elizabethtown, for the first time the phrase manic pixie dream girl was coined, when Nathan Rabin said of Kirsten Dunst in Elizabethtown, the manic pixie dream girl exists solely in the fevered imaginations of sensitive writer-directors to teach broodingly soulful young men to embrace life and its infinite mysteries and adventures. And in the wake of this article on the AV Club by Nathan Rabin, who has since disowned the term manic pixie dream girl, saying it's been overused, and I think he's correct, because the phrase manic pixie dream girl started being added retrospectively to historical performances by actresses of the past. And while the descriptor of manic pixie dream girl has been given to certain of these actresses and certain of these performances, I don't think it's always accurate, and I'm with Nathan Rabin that it has been overused. So yeah, I mean, are these manic pixie dream girls or not?
David!
What?
In the box!
What did you say?
In the box!
Oh, that's the intercostal clavicle of a brontosaurus.
Oh, really? Oh, it's just no bone.
Yes, Susan, it's just an old bone. Put it down gently and go away.
All right, David. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Oh, yes. Hand me my clothes with it.
Oh, David, they aren't here. They're being pressed.
What?
I mean, the gardener's taken them into town.
Oh, what? Well, stop him. I can't wait. I must leave here immediately.
David, you can't leave without your clothes.
Was it something I said?
I beg your pardon.
Listen, what do you think I am? A piece of ripe fruit you can squeeze the juice out of and cast aside?
Miss, I think you're making a mistake.
Sure, that's all I am to you. A mistake. A clerical error. Erase me. Forget you even know my name.
I don't know your name.
Judy Maxwell.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Could you let go of my hand?
I don't think so. Oh, look what happened.
So this is the point in the conversation where you asked me if I'd like a ride home.
It is?
Yeah.
Would you like a ride home?
Fine. But I'm not getting in that sidecar.
Why not?
Sidecars are for bitches. Anyone who rides in that is automatically your bitch. Thus, I will ride on the back.
Good morning! And congratulations, Drew. You've earned your wings as our 10 millionth passenger. And here is a coupon for any Four Diamond Hotel in the greater Western Kentucky area. Better move quickly. Lots of people behind you.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
How about a flug?
No, I don't think so.
No? You don't want a flug?
Home sweet home.
Our place really is lovely, isn't it?
Yes.
Ooh, idols on. TV's not working.
I mean, I don't want to give too many spoilers away, but in my personal opinion, Paulette in Paul and Paulette Take a Bath does reasonably well adhere to Nathan Rabin's specific description of the Manic Pixie Dream Girl. One thing that Jethro Massey emphasised in, again, both the Q&A and the press kit, is the fact that he doesn't see this as a romance. He sees it as a platonic friendship, albeit a platonic friendship which occasionally crosses the line. But this is not a romance for the ages. And it is reasonably clear throughout the course of the film that Paulette is actually in love with someone else. She has a girlfriend who she can't quite commit to. So arguably, is Paul a manic pixie dream boy for Paulette, because it kind of makes Paulette realise, oh, I've got a good thing over there. So that's an argument that can be made. But Jethro Massey sees this as a platonic relationship between these two people, or eventually a platonic relationship between these two people. I don't personally agree with that. I mean, who am I to argue with the filmmaker himself? But my interpretation of this film, as I actually said to Jethro Massey in that Q&A, is that this manic morbid dream girl basically takes this guy down. He becomes so wrapped up in her and so obsessed with the idea of her that arguably really bad things happen to him. And his life has been altered, and in my opinion, altered for the worse by his interactions with Paulette. And I believe that this is a personal interpretation, and I don't think that other people who watch this film and other people in the audience would agree with me, but my interpretation is that this is a net negative for Paul as a character. Other people will see it differently. But I think that's fascinating. The idea that you can have a film like this, a film that presents itself like one of those walk and talk romance films like Before Sunrise, and that's not where it ends up at all. Regardless of anything else, the relationship is mostly platonic by the end of the film. I think anybody can agree on that. So it's an odd kind of film, and it's an odd kind of film which does dig into these really, really morbid things. I mean, like exploring Hitler's apartments in Munich, exploring a place where a Queen of France had her head chopped off, exploring a place where dozens, if not hundreds, of French communists were put up against the wall and shot in 1871. I mean, it's one of the repeated phrases of the film, and one of the phrases that appears in the trailer.
Would you prefer to shoot someone or be shot?
I mean, when you think about it, that's not a normal thing to ask. So, I mean, these are strange, twisted, morbid people. And yes, I think most people think they go too far by the time they're talking about Bataclan. But these are damaged people, and there's reasons for that damage, and we do get to explore that a little bit. And it's a fascinating film that deals with the complexities of relationships between men and women. I mean, as When Harry Met Sally so clearly said, all the way back in the 80s when that film came out.
What I'm saying is, and this is not a come on in any way, shape, or form, is that men and women can't be friends because the sex part always gets in the way.
I mean, that remains true to this day. But when Harry Met Sally, eventually they do end up together. Here, in Paul and Paulette Take a Bath, I mean, minor spoiler, but they kind of don't. And that was important to Jethro Massey. That was important for him to point out. And I think it was important for me to see. I mean, I did like that aspect. But personally speaking, I think Jethro Massey as a filmmaker and the audience reaction, or at least the vibe I got in that Q&A screening, I think Paulette gets let off the hook far too easily for this film. I think she's dangerous. Other people's opinion may vary, but I did want to put this video out. I mean, mostly because it's such a small film, and I think it's going to need all the publicity it can get. I mean, it's a very, very independent film being distributed, at least here in the UK, by a very, very independent company. And the filmmaker's local, at least he grew up here in Bath, and, hometown pride. So, yeah, I did want to put this video out and give any attention I can to this small film. I mean, I can't say I loved Paul and Paulette Take a Bath. I mean, if I did do a top 10 of the year, this wouldn't be on it. But I did really, really like Paul and Paulette Did a Bath, and I certainly think it's worth watching. If anything I've talked about, if anything that has come up in this video has intrigued you, it's certainly worth checking out. I mean, and it does have some background to it. I mean, this premiered at the Critics Week at the 2024 Venice Film Festival, so almost exactly a year ago, this premiered at Venice. I mean, and that's not nothing. And it did win an audience award at Critics Week at Venice, which again, not nothing. But this is a very strange, very quirky, very independent film. And I think it needs all the help it can get. So even though I didn't love Paul and Paulette Take a Bath, I do recommend it. And this is the Yay, Nay or Meh channel, and all the films I'll talk about I give a yay, nay or meh to. Good, bad, indifferent. And I can't in good faith give this a yay because I didn't love it. But this is a very, very high meh. I think it's strongly recommended. If anything I've talked about so far intrigues you, who knows when you're going to be able to find it. I mean, if you're watching this video very, very quickly after it's released in the UK, you might be able to find it in cinema, and it's been given a small release. I'm sure within a couple of weeks or a couple of months, this will be available streaming. Hopefully outside the UK as well. I mean, because like I said, it did play at Venice, so it might get international distribution as well. We shall have to see. But if you do get the opportunity to watch Paul and Paulette Take a Bath, I do think it's worth watching, and I do recommend it. So, yes, that is my public service video for this week, promoting a independent film from a local filmmaker. And yes, I think that is about where this video should end. So, if you've watched this far into the video, maybe I deserve a like. You can also subscribe, leave a comment, hit the notification bell, have a look around on the channel. I've got plenty of stuff out there. Got lots of Charmed reactions, TV reactions, got some horror movie reactions. What I should be doing right now, instead of talking about the film I watched last night, is working on my reaction video to the film Together. I'll also be going to be doing ones to The Naked Gun very soon, and Weapons looks really fascinating as well. So I've got movie reactions coming up. I'm going to be doing some Oscar prediction stuff, some Oscar prediction stuff, because the Toronto Film Festival is going to be finishing next week, and the Venice Film Festival, I think, finished yesterday. So once all the autumn film festivals have done, and once all the reviews have come out, I'll be doing some more Oscar prediction stuff. So have a look around, maybe you find something you like. But for right now, I think that is where I leave you, and all that remains for me to say is this has been a presentation of the Yay, Nay or Meh channel. and I will see you next time, where I shine a light on TV and cinema, both obvious and obscure.